Behold, everybody, I found Monty's secret tool, the line blender. All right, what do we got for? For our lines tonight, Monty? What do we got? We got Zaka. We got Patra. And we have Geeky. Well, let's see how this goes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's see how this tastes. Ugh, tastes like our third line. I hope you liked that disgusting bit. It's coming back. We're gonna be getting more of that. In any case, Bruins lose 4-0 against the Nashville Predators. Welcome back down into the diner, everybody. Let's be real. The Bruins were due to lose this one. And I'm not just saying, and it's not really a matter of the Bruins were due to lose this one. It's more so that the Predators were due to win something. And you can't go 0-82. It is. Oh wow! Actually, trying that now. The bits of paper. It is a weird texture. Nashville was due to win one. Nashville was due to win one. And for what it's worth, they played flawlessly. There is little that can really be said about Nashville's play that isn't tonight that isn't positive. Steven Stamkos absolutely Steven Stamkos sold a double minor to Wes McCauley, and Wes McCauley bought it, purchased it wholesale, fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Doesn't matter. The point is that the Bruins, at this point, two things can be true, and two things are true. First of all, we severely overhyped the Bruins going into this season. We all thought Lindholm. We got Elias Lindholm. We got Nikita Zadorov. We have two players who, for all intents and purposes, belong in Boston, and we filled two of our biggest needs. We fulfilled the replacement for Matt Grzelcyk on the left side of the defense, and we fulfilled our need for our top line center. As soon as that happened, we all thought, oh, we're just gonna completely cruise, and it hasn't gone like that. It just has not gone like that, because the rest of this roster is so unbelievably inconsistent, and if it could not be any more apparent, they completely switched up the top nine. They put, and it's frustrating. It's so frustrating, not just for the fans who are like, I know these people. They play on the same line. It's easy to know when one of these guys is on, because if one of them is on, the other guys is probably also on. It's not just for that. It's also for building the chemistry between one player and another. If you keep putting them into a blender like this, they're going to be torn to shreds and ruin any sort of good milkshake you try to make. Like, let's look at this. Marchand, Lindholm, Pastrnak. Okay. Marchand's had a slow start to the season, and put him on the top line. See if he can produce. The problem is Marchand is like 35 years old and coming off of 3 different surgeries. He is not fast enough to keep up with the play that Lindholm and Pastrnak facilitate. Second line, Max Jones on the second line with Charlie Coyle and Trent Frederick. Okay. This just screams desperation. And the third line is our beloved milkshake, Zaka Patra and Geeky. Oh my god, that really is like torture. It's not the taste, it's the texture of it. Oh my god. So that's problem one. The first problem is this roster is not at all talented enough. Nor is it cohesive enough to facilitate getting past the second round, really. If you expected the Bruins to take a step forward from where they were last year, you're not getting that. You're not getting any sort of revenge against Florida. That much is evident. And but the second thing that's true, Monty is not at all instilling any sort of discipline or consistency in this team. The only consistency has been in the fourth line, and which was the best line in hockey for like 2 weeks, by a sheer miracle. It is you are never, that sort of production from your fourth line is not sustainable. And I disagree with those saying that okay, then give them more minutes, because this game Beecher, Kastelic, and Koepke played sort of akin to how you would expect them to play on the fourth line. Kastelic in particular, who I swear to God, I was looking at this. I saw him looking at him with his helmet off. He looks like Jensen Ackles if Jensen Ackles had absolutely no acting ability. In any case, Kastelic does the one interesting thing a Bruin does all game, and just completely dummies Luke Shen in the first 5 minutes, which I would be happy about. I would be more happy about if Pastrnak didn't take a penalty in the first 15 seconds of the game. And look, I've dogged on the forwards, I've dogged on the defensemen. It's time. Honestly, this was legitimately the worst. This was the worst game that Swayman has had this season so far, and it's one of the worst games he's had since I've started doing Into the Den. Two of those goals could have easily been wiped off the board. And yes, we'd still be looking at a 2-0 victory instead a 2-0 loss instead of a 4-0 loss. The point still stands, and Swayman did not have a great night despite allowing those 2 goals on despite allowing 3 goals on over 40 shots. When I put it like that, actually, Swayman had an alright night. It's just those 2 goals, oh my god. Especially the Gustav Nyquist goal on that 2-on-1. And Carlo plays it exactly how you're supposed to. I almost blamed Carlo for this, but ultimately, Carlo did exactly what he needed to. Swayman just was not prepared for it. Somehow. I don't know how you're not prepared for that. You should be prepared for that. And this was one of the, and look, I can't unlike in the past couple of games, I'm not going to dog on the officiating, even though this was another Wes McCauley game, which one of the few things I agree with Steve Dangle on is that Wes McCauley is one of the worst officials in the league. He actually didn't do terrible. He actually didn't do terrible in this game. His calls were pretty straightforward, and he didn't, and they weren't too game breaking. but the rest of the Bruins, the high sticking penalty that McAvoy took against Stamkos, I know he tried to sell it a little bit, but at the same time, you need to. But at the same time, you need to not do that, McAvoy. McAvoy has had a bad start to the season, and I'm tired of pretending like he hasn't. But maybe this is what this team is. Maybe this is what this team is. An undisciplined mishmash of conflicting personalities and play styles and philosophies, is held together by a head coach that is whose seat is slowly warming up like frogs being thrown into simmering water before it slowly starts to boil. Well, and we've deluded ourselves into thinking that it's something better than that. And that isn't necessarily an indictment on us, nor is it really an indictment on the team. It's just the state of where we're at. And that's fine. That's fine. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to be the best every single year. Believe me, I'm the child of a Yankees fan. That much is evident. You don't need to be the best every single year, or for people to still love you and for people to still hate you. No. All that I ask is that you at least make it you at least make it an enjoyable product and not one akin to, well, drinking paper. My God, I ruined a perfectly good milkshake with that. And so to close this out, Monty, Jim, if you're listening right now, I have a really important message for you.
Hey, 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 do not touch the blender.
Did you hear that? Did you hear those wonderful gentlemen? Did you hear what they said? Do not touch the blender. Do not make me bring this out again. Do not make me showcase how poorly constructed these lines are by forcing me to fucking make a milkshake with paper in it. And for the love of God, bring up Fabian Lysell. We can have. I might put out a video in the coming days, specifically about what Fabian Lysell will bring to this team if we bring him up. But for right now, I need to digest that. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.